What is up, you guys? My name is Aubrey and this is my channel, and today I want to talk about the Department of Treasury because the Department of Treasury has a new chief, and that is Janet Yellen. So in this video, I want to talk about who Janet Yellen is, I want to talk about what this change to the Department of Treasury means, and I want to talk about what impact it has to you, your small business, how much you make, and so much more. So let's get started. So as of yesterday, January 25th, Janet Yellen was officially confirmed as the first female Treasury Secretary of the Department of Treasury. Now, what this means is that she will head the entire Department of Treasury, and she will be a big figure in regard to President Biden and his administration's effort for economy, for foreign trade, for stimulus, and so much more. Now, over the next few weeks, we're going to be hearing a lot about different cabinet members that are being confirmed and being sworn into the Biden administration. And this is business as usual. This always happens whenever a new president takes office, and it is simply no different with the Biden administration. But really what I want to talk about on this channel is the specific cabinet members that have an impact on what we talk about on this channel. So things like stimulus checks, stimulus packages, wages, small business, and more. So now let's dig into Janet Yellen specifically. So she was confirmed by the US Senate yesterday on Monday, January 25th by a pretty significant majority. The vote was 84-15, and all 15 people that voted against Janet Yellen were Republicans who have pretty significant disagreements with this $1.9 trillion stimulus package. So even most of the centric Republicans voted in favor of having Janet Yellen head the Department of Treasury. And Janet Yellen is expected to be sworn in sometime today, Tuesday, January 26th. In fact, by the time this video goes live, she may have already been sworn in. Now, Janet Yellen has a pretty impressive resume. She taught at universities like Harvard and the London School of Economics. She also chaired the Council of Economic Advisors under the Bill Clinton administration. She also was the chair of the Federal Reserve under the Obama administration as well. So she is no rookie when it comes to government economics and working in the government to help create and facilitate economic policies. Now, the important thing to note about the Biden administration is the fact that across the aisle, Republican and Democrats, President Joe Biden has a pretty good track record of being fairly centered. I mean, he's a Democratic president. Of course, he is tiered more towards the Democratic Party, but he has a really good history of working with Republicans and working across the aisle on a number of key issues. And he's done this throughout his entire career, and he is definitely reflecting this belief with his cabinet picks, and Janet Yellen is a perfect example of this. Janet Yellen has a fairly reliable track record of being fairly nonpartisan, and this is in part as to why she was able to get confirmed so easily and by such a significant landslide in the Senate confirmation that was held yesterday. Now, Janet Yellen identifies herself as a Keynesian economist, and what this means is that she believes that the economy is controlled by aggregate spending. And what aggregate spending is the total amount of money that is spent on goods and services from both us, being the private sector, as well as the government, being the government sector. And what this essentially means, in very simplified and layman's terms, is that if you are a Keynesian economist, you believe that the economy is very much controlled by our ability to produce goods and services, and the ability for the private sector and the government sector to purchase these goods and services. And that this is basically just like an interlocking system that has a huge impact on our economy in a wide variety of different ways, from production to demand to unemployment and so much more. So you can definitely count that this belief system will definitely leak into her policies that she makes with the US government, from trying to really strengthen our production, our infrastructure, and to make it so that the US can produce goods and services rather than us having to rely on outside countries in order to receive those goods and services that we may need, that we may not be able to produce right now. So you can definitely count on this belief system leaking into the Department of Treasury over the next few years. And this means that she really will put a high emphasis on production and infrastructure, on making it so that the US can produce goods and services that we may not be able to produce right now in a strong and efficient way. That way we can rely on our own economy, our own production, our own infrastructure, rather than having to outsource those things to other countries. So that will definitely be a big focus for Janet Yellen as the head of the Department of Treasury. Other than infrastructure and production, which are bound to be huge focuses for Janet Yellen, she has also talked about China as well. And as of right now, Janet Yellen, as well as the Biden administration, have said that they will not be releasing or lifting any of the tariffs that former President Donald Trump had set into place during his presidency. And basically, they want to wait and see. There definitely is a possibility that they may lift those tariffs in the future, but they first want to make sure that China is kind of holding up their end of the bargain and doing doing what they need to be doing on their end before they lift those tariffs. So as of right now, as far as things with China go, I don't see that changing anytime in the very near future, though I wouldn't be surprised if it changes at some point during this presidency. Really, the role of the Department of Treasury, specifically the head of the Department of Treasury, is to assist in the creation of policy regarding economic policy, tax policy, and financial policy, as well as dealing with broad foreign fiscal policy as well. So the role of Janet Yellen is going to be pretty overreaching, but really I think that what we can count on is a few things in the next 4 years. Number one, there will be a pretty big emphasis on creating new jobs in America around new technology and around new industries. Specifically, I think renewable energies like electric cars, solar, wind, and things like that will be huge in the next 4 years. I don't necessarily think that these industries will take off in 4 years, but I think the groundwork for these industries will begin to be heavily laid in the next 4 years. In fact, I'm investing heavily in the stock market in these industries because I think it will be a really big thing, a really big focus in these 4 years. Secondly, is I do think that the minimum wage will be raised, and I do think Janet Yellen will assist in this process. Do I think it will raise to $15 per hour? I don't know entirely if it will raise to that high, but I do think it will be raised, and I think it will be raised pretty substantially from $7.25 where it currently is, and I think Janet Yellen will play a key role in that. As far as interest rates and the effective interest rates under a Janet Yellen Department of Treasury, this is something that will be incrementally changed as it is seen fit. She has already said that she does not believe that interest rates should be sporadically changed in a significant way all at once, that can have negative consequences to the economy. As you guys know, right now, interest rates are at an all-time low given the fact that we are in a pandemic and the economy is struggling, and I expect that those will stay at all-time lows for quite a while, and I don't even really know if Janet Yellen will get a chance in her time as head of Department of Treasury to really mess around with interest rates a whole lot. I think that we will be in a recovery phase for quite a while, and I think that as a result of that, interest rates will continue to stay low. And then once the economy starts to strengthen, I don't see Janet Yellen spiking those up significantly. I think it will be a gradual increase over the course of many years. And then lastly, as far as stimulus packages go, I mean, ultimately, I think that we will see at least one more stimulus relief package in this next year. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a couple. And the fact is, Janet Yellen will play a key role in this. She will play a role in the process of handling these stimulus relief packages. Now, the fact is, when it comes to stimulus packages, lawmakers have to come to the table with a relatively nonpartisan package in order to get anything passed. This is because of the fact that Democrats don't hold an overwhelming majority in the Senate. Yes, they hold a majority, and this is a huge advantage, but it's not a majority that can have a huge impact, especially when it comes to really left-leaning bills. And because of this, I think that in the next 4 years, we will see a lot of centered relief packages. I don't think that we will see a ton far left-leaning proposals by lawmakers simply because of the fact that a far left-leaning proposal will not get passed in the Senate, and thus it would never become a bill. So it will be interesting to see how relief packages play out over the next few months and over the next few years. I think that it will be very, very interesting. I think that we should expect to see more relief packages, but I don't think that we'll see anything quite as aggressive as we did with the CARES Act. I expect that this $1.9 trillion package will be the most aggressive package that we see under the Biden administration, and then they will start to kind of teeter off from there and become less aggressive as the economy improves. At least that's my prediction, but we'll see ultimately what ends up happening. With that being said, you guys, I wanted to do a video on this because I think it's important to stay up to date on who is joining government and who is joining these different positions and how they can affect you specifically. Because in the case of Janet Yellen, she absolutely will have an effect on things like stimulus, things like the economy, jobs, and small business. It's important to know who is taking these roles so that you know what to expect. But like always, you guys, if you have any thoughts, if you have any comments, if you have anything to add, make sure to leave a comment down below. And while you guys are at it, make sure to hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell. And I will see you guys in the next video.